Alright, cool, bet. Be back. Part two. Part two shall begin. Part two shall begin. Oh my lord. Oh my days. Oh my lord, my days and my nights. We get to talk about Wisp in all of her glory. Oh my goodness. Wisp. Alright, anyway. I already messing up. Good evening again to all my Cubs, Lady Cubs. It is your number one league king. We are back in this thing called Warframe. That's the title suggests. Wisp. Oh, it is the Wisp. We're gonna be talking about Wisp. Man. Fever dreams. Fever dreams have been had. Not saying that I've had fever dreams. No. Not saying that at all. I'm saying that I'm assuming that fever dreams have been had about this frame because she is so okay, yeah. Wisp. She is. I'm just go ahead and get it out the way. She is. She thick. It had to have been nothing but dudes. It 100% had to have been nothing but dudes that made Wisp. Like, it had to have been. Like, I refuse to believe anything else other than, just being honest. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. Alright, so let me go ahead and open up. I'm just gonna do a config D and leave it blank. Yes, Lord. Alright. Just gonna do that. Let's take ourselves to the simulacrum. Let's go to the simulacrum. Get ourselves together. Alright. Oh, it takes so long to load. Why do you take so long to load? That's my song. It's called Why. That's the only lyrics in the song. Just why it takes so long to load. That's it. Well, I mean, I cannot wait till I get a PS5. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna act when I get a PS5. I'm gonna act bougie. I know exactly how I'm gonna act when I get a PS5. I'm gonna be bougie as hell. I'm like, look, if you ain't on PS5, don't talk to me. That's how. I'm like, if you're not in the PS5 crew, we can't have words. That's how I would say. But anyway, let's talk about her. Let's talk about Wisp. Wisp does some hellified things. She is A+ for so many reasons. Literally from her passive all the way down to her 4. Everything that she does is 100% busted. Like, she makes no sense why she is as powerful as she is. Thanks, DE. That's all I can say. Let's go ahead and talk about her passive real quick. Wisp weaves between dimensions whilst she is airborne. Busted and busting, I mean, huh? Shut up. Wisp weaves between dimensions whilst she is airborne, gaining a cloak that renders her and her companions completely invisible to enemies until she lands or fires a weapon. Wisp's cloak will deactivate briefly after the player stops firing, provided they are still airborne. The cloak does not wear off immediately after landing, allowing Wisp to constantly remain invisible. Hard landings will dissipate the cloak immediately. Silenced weapons will still remove her invisibility. That sucks. Just one little thing. Okay. Invisibility is not affected by melee weapon strikes, allowing Wisp to freely use them without making her visible. Okay. Unlike other invisible abilities, Wisp does not turn transparent. Instead, she visually glows and emits energy particles that are affected by her chosen energy color. Okay, cool beans. It just sucks that, she can only stay invisible if she's not firing. And silence weapons still break. Okay, whatever. But it gets better. It just gets better. It gets better from here. I'm gonna talk about her one. Reservoirs. Okay. Birth. From Wisp's dimensional habitat. 3 species of reservoir pods nursing friendly motes can be selectively summoned by Wisp. Tap the ability key to freely cycle the selection wheel between the Vitality, Haste, and Shock reservoirs. Hold down the ability key to summon the selected reservoir from a portal above Wisp for 25 energy, placing a pod directly in front of her. The reservoir pods have a range of 5 meters and last indefinitely, while the motes retrieved from the pods last 30 seconds while outside of the reservoirs. Wisp can summon a maximum of 6. Oh my god. What up, Seleno? Wisp has a fatty. Wisp has a big booty. All of these things are true. Reservoir pod range is affected by range. Mote buff duration is affected by duration. Energy cost is affected by efficiency. Number of reservoir pods is not affected by mods. Casting additional reservoir pods will replace the oldest pod. Up to 3 different reservoir types can be unlocked as the ability ranks up. Vitality is unlocked at default. Haste is unlocked at rank 1, which is Warframe rank 7. And Shock is unlocked at rank 2, which is Warframe rank 14. Now let's talk about, let me see, there's a couple of notes here for the pods themselves. Reservoir pods are invulnerable static floating objects that are permanently placed until removed by Wisp or colliding with nullifier bubbles. Each pod spawns a floating mote above it, which can be plucked an infinite amount of times by Wisp and other frames, companions, summon allied units such as Spectres, Railjet crews, allied invasion units, hostages, converted liches or sisters, Kavor defectors, sortie and arbitration defense operatives, and defense operatives or defense objects coming into Reservoir's range. This includes at least some allies spawned via Warframe abilities, such as Nidus's maggots via his Ravenous ability. That makes entirely no sense. They are going to die. Those things are going to die. So not only will his maggots have additional health, movement speed, and a shock AoE, they will also explode. That is so dumb. That is actually dumb. That's so dumb. They're going to, a maggot is going to have a shock mode that's going to stun that enemy, and then he's just going to walk and crawl right up on him and blow up in his face. What the frick is this? What is this game, actually? Okay. Modes attached to the entity that pluck them, floating in orbit, and following their target wherever they go. Modes grant the affected entity a specialized buff based on the reservoir type. Modes respawn from the reservoirs after a brief cooldown if taken by an entity. Modes last for a duration, with their timers able to be refreshed and paused indefinitely while the buffed entities are standing in range of the respective reservoir type. Reservoir pods take on Wisp's ability strength when placed and remain at that ability strength percentage indefinitely. So that means energy conversion and growing power are really, really good on Wisp, because the motes will keep that strength indefinitely. Also meaning that if you have those buffs on and then you go a distance and cast her ability again, it will refresh at that strength percentage. Have you done Limbo's TED yet? No. I don't remember. I don't think Limbo comes on a planet. He's one of those special ones that that aren't on a planet. I forget when you're able to get him. I might end up doing him soon, because he's not one that is on a planet. Just finished remixing some Chinese fried rice with more egg, baked garlic. I hate you. Send me some food. He is on the quest. Yeah, he is on the quest. That is true. Let's see. If there are multiple reservoir pods, the pod with the highest buff value will take effect with its corresponding duration. A lower value pod will still refresh the duration of a higher value pod. Each entity is limited to one active mote buff per reservoir type. Okay. So, you can look at the information on each of the different types of motes on the wiki. I will not go into those details. But yeah, they're there. Okay. Synergy. Casting Breach Surge on an active reservoir pod will teleport Wisp to its location and double Breach Surge's range. What? What are you talking about, Naruto? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, let me read that one more time, because disability. Casting Breach Surge on an active reservoir pod will teleport Wisp to its location and double Breach Surge's range. Damn. Targeting a reservoir pod within a reticle will encircle it and with chosen energy color to indicate Breach Surge's ability to be cast on it, and can be used at any range, provided there is line of sight. Reservoir pods can be targeted through solid surfaces, provided there is vision of them, for example, windows. Wisp cannot teleport to a pod while within less than 10 meters of it. So you have to be 11 meters or 10 and further out to teleport to it. That teleport thing they added is so good. Yeah, it is. It is. And oh my god, it is. Other synergy. Currently obtained motes provide additional properties to Soul Gauge. Vitality and Shock both provide a 25% damage increase for a total of 50, and Haste allows Soul Gate to deal corrosive procs on every damage instant. Does not gain corrosive damage. So it acts like Hydroid's one augment, where it does corrosive procs but not the damage. But it's that portion, even though they do the same thing functionality wise, her ability, that particular ability, does so much damage per second that it's, even though the corrosive procs are just procs, it still like will do a shit ton more damage than Hydroid's one with augment. Ooh. Anyway, she can teleport? Yes. Good for closing distance while adding some CC in the area too. Oh yes, and we're not done. We're not done with that. Okay, we're not done with talking about that. Let's go to the augment real quick. So I think she only has 2 augments right now. Let me pull up where you can get them from. So, her mods can be acquired from either, oh my god, ads. Her mods can be acquired from either Cephalon Suda or New Loka, rank 5 with both, or either or, and 25k standing for each. Okay, so, Fuse Reservoir adds a 4th reservoir that gives the effects of all 3. So basically, that 4th reservoir is essentially just a combination of all. I had wished that it was like a separate thing that like did a separate thing. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I'm gonna have to get Wisp one day. I mean, if we do this right, that day could be today. I'm just saying, I ain't got nothing but time on my hands. It's my weekend, so, you know, I ain't got nothing but time on my hands. Anyway, so that was the first part. Adds a 4th reservoir that gives the effects of all 3. Okay. Oh, I gotta sneeze again. Wait, why I gotta sneeze so much? Stop it. Anyway, the second part is cost 200% more energy. So I believe the original cast of her one is 25. So basically it goes up to what, 50? 100 out of 10 on the Use her on Arby as a team buffer, practically unkillable. Hell yes she is. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay. I like this augment because it's an Exilus. Okay, it doesn't take up one of your 8 slots. It's nice. Yeah, 50. I believe 50 would be the amount. Yeah, it costs 25. So yeah, it'll be 50. Actually, no, it'll be no. Yeah, it'll be 50. I'm tripping. Cause wait a minute. Wait. 75, I think. Is it 50 or 75? One of the two. Would efficiency affect the amount? Yes. It'll lower the overall cost, the overall drain of reservoir, but the initial like 200 will still be in effect, unfortunately. So you can lower the initial cost so it'll go down. Or is it times 3? I don't fucking No, I should know. I'm gonna look into it. Cause it's 3 modes. You know what? That makes more sense. Because it is 3 modes, I guess it will be. But let's see. Energy cost is not affected by mods. Okay. Fuse reservoir counts as 3 summoned reservoirs, and Wisp is still limited to 6 total reservoirs, meaning only 2 of the combined versions can be used at any given time. Doubles the energy cost of using the combined version rather than tripling it, saving 25 base energy when using the combined version. So basically, it is 50 energy. So yeah, it'll be 50 rather than tripling it. Yeah, okay. So it'll be 50. Got it. The combined version has all 3 modes regardless of whether Wisp has a high enough level to have them. Ooh. So let's say, for example, Naruto gets Wisp, right? Let's say he gets Wisp. And then he does the smart thing and he gets Fused Reservoir. And he immediately puts it on Wisp at unranked. He now has all 3 modes unlocked at rank 0. I rarely do smart. We all know that, Naruto. Anyway, missions will start with the Fused Reservoir automatically selected. That's cool. That's like a little quality of life thing, so that way you won't have to worry about it. It's just already there for you. Okay. Here's a tip for that augment. Useful for empowered builds requiring only 1 instance of empower to charge all 3 versions at once, saving energy. Because it simply adds another type of reservoir and does not remove the normal ones, the player can still mix and match to place more modes in more locations if necessary, such as defections, keeping in mind the 6 max reservoir still applies. Okay, cool beans. I like all of that. I like all of it. I like everything she got going on. We like all of it. Alright. Let's go to number 2. Will-O-Wisp. Oh man. This ability does not get enough shine, but it's about to tonight. Alright. Wisp fades between dimensions, cloaking herself and her companion from enemy eyes while spawning a spectral copy of herself that flies forward the last position of the reticle when activated. The spectral clone draws the attention and fire from nearby enemies, and Wisp's cloak and clone both last 4 seconds. So not only does she have her passive that makes her invisible, but as soon as you land, you can throw out a clone and you're invisible again. You could just do that. Like, okay, cool. I'm flying in the air, I'm gliding, and I'm invisible. Then I land, clone. Back in the air again, I'm invisible. A lot of you just be invisible the entire time. That's nice. Duration is affected by duration, and energy cost is affected by efficiency. Oh, excuse me. Why does my sinuses want to act up when I'm reading? I don't get it. Anyway, casting ability again while the clone is traveling will dissipate the cloak and clone. Then instantly teleport Wisp to its location. Wisp gains invulnerability for 3 seconds after teleportation. Invulnerability time is not affected by mods. Tap the ability key to summon a slow moving clone. Hold down the ability key to summon a fast moving clone. Then teleport instantly to it upon releasing the button. I appreciate the fast moving clone in open areas, especially like open worlds, PoE, Fortuna, Deimos, things like that. And especially for those who may not have an Archwing, let's say, circumstances like, okay, I have Wisp, but I don't have Archwing, right? I can use my 2 to get around fairly quickly. Close is ass, they get stuck. Nah, not necessarily. It's just how you basically just position yourself and point which area you need your clone to go into. Sometimes you can get a little clumsy. I have fallen victim to that. But I mean, overall, as far as moving, yeah, it works out fairly well. It does work out fairly well. As far as moving around goes, it does work out fairly well. Let's see. Ability synergy. Yes, here we go. Will-O-Wisp Spectral Clone plucks motes from the reservoirs as it passes through during its lifetime. That's one. That's one of the synergies. So you can point your clone to go through your reservoirs, right? As long as it's active, it has those things. For example, shock. You can go through a shock moat, and it starts to shock enemies as it's going through. That's just one part of it. Even I didn't even know that. You can just shoot it through and just watch it light up the world. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Casting Brief Surge while the spectral clone is traveling creates a second Brief Surge expansion around the clone. Not only do you have Brief Surge on yourself, you have it on your clone. So you have 2 instances of blinding enemies. You can blind enemies in an entire tile set. Now, here's the other part that it doesn't list. It doesn't list this part. So the second part was you can have a second Brief Surge with your clone while it's active, right? If you have your clone out, it's flying, and you teleport to a Wisp or to a moat, using Brief Surge, your clone gets the double range effect as well. So whatever your range is, it's now doubled, and now you have 2 huge rings. You can overlap them if you wanted to. It's kind of redundant to overlap them. I would say space it out if you have the duration necessary to allow your clone to go out far enough, and then it'll be able to cast that huge 3 ring. Okay. Can be cast while Soul Gate is active to cloak, spawn a clone, and teleport to it when desired. I have done that in a mission, and it does work. And I'm so glad it does, because you can just leave your 4 on and move about how you need to. I like that. Spectral Clone is a flying object that attempts to continue its path when colliding with terrain. Clone is capable of opening doors when in proximity. Okay. Can Wisp Endurance Wand? Yes. She definitely can. Yeah, she can. Let's see. Spectral Clone is visually surrounded by flowing light particles and leave energy. Clone is affected by all appearances. Okay. It is just talking about appearances at this point. Her disability does not have an augment, which is fine. Totally fine. It has enough going on that an augment for it is not really necessary. But if they ever do decide to put one, I hope that it is a bonus versus like a little bit of a thing and then like a bunch of negatives tied around it. I don't want that. That's just me. Let me grab a drink real quick. I have to edit that out. Okay. Have to grab a drink. Okay. Now, let's talk about one of the most busted abilities in Warframe that is available to all Warframes, mind you. Okay, let's talk about Breach Surge. Jesus Christ. Okay. Wisp fractures the dimensional divide into an energy explosion that rapidly expands over an 18-meter radius area around the cast location. Enemies in direct line of sight of Wisp and within range are blinded with unstable energy for 16 seconds. When struck by damage from weapons and abilities, blinded enemies have a 10% chance to release a surge spark in the form of a homing projectile that seeks the heads of nearby enemies, dealing radiation damage with a 20% status chance, and inherits a damage multiplier of 2 received by the source enemy to inflict on the new target. Okay, so what that basically is saying is you pop her 3, she releases energy, they're blinded, they have at base a 10% chance to release that spark, and that spark can deal radiation damage with a 20% status chance and has a 2x multiplier. You can probably run no mods on Wisp and get to level cap. No, I don't. No, you can't do that. No. I can't support that. No, I can't support that. No, I can't support that. I can't run behind that one, cause I'm gonna say this as a side note. I have my own beef with people who run level cap, and it's just me personally. It's just me. I personally do not see the need of running level cap, because I'm not that vain. I am not that vain to have something in the world that says, hey, look at me, I ran level cap. I don't care that much. Personally, I don't care that much. Like, I don't care. Because my thing is, what's the point of playing the game? If there is no challenge for you anymore, what's the point? What is the point, actually? If nothing in the game can challenge you, then there's absolutely no point in playing the game. You might as well uninstall. That's my own little caveat. That's all I'm saying. That's my own little caveat. Anyway, damage multiplier and status chance are affected by strength. Final damage and status proc type is affected by theorem demulcent, as well as other modifiers that affect abilities that deal weapon damage, including vigorous swap, which is a Warframe mod that you could possibly put on if you wanted to, and damage boosting abilities such as Eclipse, Rift Surge augmented with Rift Torrent. Okay. Eclipse? Okay. Range is affected by ability range. Blind duration is affected by duration. Energy cost is affected by efficiency. Chance to release surge sparks is not affected by mods, because Killing blinded enemies has a 100% chance to release a surge spark. That's why they didn't want to mess with that percentage increase, because it's no point if as soon as you kill them, it's going to happen. Like, it's guaranteed to happen. Some same, I don't care either. You're right. I could do that in a survival if I camp a corner with Nina's level cap. Okay. If I'm patience enough. God, stop talking, Naruto. Dear God, I love you, but stop using words. Okay? Because you just gosh darn it, guy. No camping. I don't even see why I'm going to level 2000. Exactly my point. Like, once I get like whatever item that I'm going for, if I'm farming, right, whatever item I'm going for, if I got that item, if I got enough of that item, I'm done. I don't need to continue on. I'm ending the mission. I'm leaving. I'm extracting. I don't need to be there for hours and hours on end to be like, I got level cap, look at me. I got level cap, I don't care that much, honestly. I don't care that much. Okay. Blinded enemies are susceptible to stealth damage bonus, but are not vulnerable to melee finishers. That's the thing. That's the issue that I was having. With a couple of weeks back when I was trying to attempt utilizing Marked for Death on Wisp. They're not vulnerable to melee finishers. Okay, makes sense. Surge Sparks have a crit multiplier of 1.5x and can store critical headshots due to their homing properties. Surge Sparks will attempt to home in on a nearby enemy during flight. Without a target to strike, Surge Sparks randomly impact onto a nearby surface and explode. We already talked about the ability synergy between the 3 and the 1. We already talked about the ability synergy between the 3 and the 2. Soulgate. Soulgate's Solar Plasma Beam has a 100% chance to trigger a Surge Spark on every hit. Every hit. Wait, I'll do that in arbitrations, to be honest, because more Vital Essence means more cool. Yes, 100%. 100%. I will go, if I'm able to go to distance, I will absolutely go to distance. Because, like you said, you're gaining something. You're gaining a thing. How does that equal Kuva? Because you can buy Kuva with Vitus Essence. 20? Is it 20 or 30? I want to say 20. 20 Vitus Essence is 10,000 Kuva. Yeah, what he said. He said that down there. That seems like a waste. Are you kidding me? Okay. Whenever you do acquire Rivens on a daily basis, right? Whenever you do acquire Rivens and you're trying to reach a god roll and you run out of Kuva fairly quickly, because once you get 10 rolls on a Riven, it costs 3,500 Kuva every roll thereafter and will never go down. It will always be 3,500 after 10. The 10th will be 3,500 and thereon will be 3,500. You start to run out of Kuva really daggone quick. 10 to 20, that's 35,000. That's 35,000 Kuva gone. 35,000. Okay? And then you go, let's see, 10 to 30. You don't get a good roll from roll 10 to roll 30. That's 70,000 Kuva. Gone. You ain't getting that back, buddy. You see how it starts to become important now? It starts to become important. Buy Kuva to roll ribs and sell for plat to buy relics. It's all one just big system. It's all just one big system. Okay, anyway. Can be recast, we're still talking about the 3, can be recast while active to blind new targets and refresh duration on previously blinded enemies in range. So you can just basically keep enemies blind forever. That's what that's saying. That's what I hear. Refresh duration on previously blinded enemies. They can just be blind. And they just gonna be blind. And they just gonna be blind. I dumped 40k Kuva in 2 minutes on a Riven and got nothing. That's rough. Casting Breach Surge fooled by the animation. Okay, they're talking about visuals and all of that stuff. Okay, Subsuming Wisp to the Helmet will offer Breach Surge and its augment to be used by other Warframes. Speaking of the augment, let's talk about it because that's their second augment. Critical Surge. It got hit with all kinds of controversy and negativity and blah 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 whoop whoop whoop. But snipers on her with this augment really do well. Like, they do well. And I only got growls, and I've got growls of my second roll. Yeah. It's literally gambling. Yep, that is 100%. 100% literal gamble. Critical Surge, the Breach Surge augment. Teleporting to a reservoir costs 50% energy and grants 10% crit chance to sniper rifles per meter travel for 9 seconds for a maximum of 350% crit chance. Why sniper rifles? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. They could have changed that to anything else. They could have changed it to weapons. If they had just said 10% crit chance to weapons, that would have made her so elite. That would have made her so elite if it just said weapons, or if it just said primary, or it just said secondary. It would have made her elite. I don't think I ever got a good ribbon. Well, no, actually, I had that Cena one. Okay, yeah. Oh, if they just, come on, DE, please. You can keep it general, and that would make her. You know what? I'm not gonna cap. If they change that, not like from sniper rifles to just say weapons, that would probably put her in S tier. I'm just saying. You broke on Kuva also? That sucks. Okay. So, with this augment, the crit chance per meter traveled is affected by ability strength, but we cannot go above 350. So what that means is that you can get to your 350% crit chance at a shorter distance. A way shorter distance. That's what that means. Wait, maybe because Wisp and Eidolon? Possibly, yes. That's if Eidolons is your thing and you do not want to be inside you don't want to follow the meta, yeah, you can definitely do that. That's a shit ton of crit chance. And then because your moats You can place your motes in like really good locations across the PoE map and teleport to them. You will always have 350% crit chance on sniper rifles. IB mech. Oh god. What the fuck is IB? What is IB? What is IB? No, IB mech. What? Oh my lord. What is that? You are annoying. Jesus. Anyway, additively stacked with crit chance bonuses such as point strike. That's additive? That's additive? Additive? Really? No way. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, if they say it, I mean, I don't know. I ain't gonna say if they say it's true, and it's not necessarily true. That's something to test, but Okay, stacks with crit chance bonuses such as point strike, but point strike is multiplicative. So, I mean, that's still a shit ton of crit chance. I'm not gonna cap, so I'm not even mad at that. Duration is affected by duration. Max crit chance is not affected by mods, of course. Energy cost is not affected by mods, of course. Wisp cannot teleport to a pod within 10 meters of it, obviously. Functionally, this means the minimum crit bonus is 100%. Okay. You don't, like I said, if you have enough strength that reduces the damage, not the damage, that reduces the distance needed to reach that 350. I really like this augment. I really do. Especially if there is a Cephalon person out there. Let's say you want to be a solo Cephalon runner and you don't want to use Volt. You could definitely be on Wisp. You could definitely use Wisp. Like if that person, like circumstances notwithstanding, that person has Wisp but does not have a Necromech, because not everyone has a Necromech. Even though I don't know why you don't, it's so easy to get. But anyway, if they don't have a Necromech but they do have Wisp and they do have this augment, they can still run some stuff up. Alright, so let's go back. And let's talk about her 4. Blessed be that foe. That foe does something that foe, yeah. Okay. Soul Gate. Jesus. This, I swear, this ability does stuff. Oh, it does stuff. But weirdly enough, there are people that I have seen who run Wisp who have removed her 4. Why? I don't know. It's their game. They do what they want, and it always confused me. Like, why? You know, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about it though. Wisp tears open and sustains a portal to the sun to harness its destructive power. While sustaining the portal, Wisp focuses the solar plasma into a single beam with curving flares over a length of 40 meters. The beam possesses infinite punch through against enemy bodies and inflicts 1500 heat and radiation damage per 0.5 seconds with a questionable status chance. It doesn't say. We don't know the status chance. I mean, we can test it out later, possibly. With the questionable status chance to all enemies it contacts. I'm assuming that if it is ticking, it's 2 ticks per second, and it's heat and radiation. We might have to look into it. Each enemy that receives damage from the beam becomes more vulnerable to it, with beam damage increasing by 50% per half second, up to a maximum of 500% damage bonus per damage instance. Pressing the ability key while active to deactivate the ability. Damage per half second is affected by ability strength. Beam length is affected by range. Beam damage ramp up is not affected by mods. Wisp is able to move and cast her 2 while her 4 is active. While Soulgate is active, reservoir motes orbiting Wisp will instead orbit around the portal. When Soulgate is deactivated, most will return to Wisp again. Wisp recoils backward when the ability deactivates. Does it not scale? Well, assuming that the target that is being hit is Grenier, it is possible, because having all 3 motes on you does do corrosive damage. I'm gonna safely say no. Probably doesn't scale. It does big damage, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna safely say no, it doesn't scale. Her 4 booty? No, it's not booty. I never use her 4 much, but it seems good though. Holding the fire button increases the beam's damage to 3,000. Status chance to questionable, because we don't know the initial status chance. Damage ramp up per half second up to 100 to a maximum of 1,000, while also increasing energy drain to 24 energy per second. Wisp's movement speed is slowed by 50% while boosting Soulgate. Boosted damage per second is affected by strength. The energy drain is affected by efficiency and duration. Ramp up is not affected by mods. Consumes 12 energy per second while active and will remain active until her energy is depleted or the ability is deactivated. Okay. You can not gain energy by those options that we read off earlier. Most of the options you already know. Energy Vampire, Rift Plane, Energy Restores, Energy Siphon, Energizing Dash, but you can also still gain energy from Orbs, Arcane Energize. Wait, how can you gain energy from Oracle Void Death Orbs if she's not Prime? I'm assuming that if a Prime frame touches the orb and you're close to that frame or close to that orb, you'll get the energy too. I'm assuming that's how that works. I'm assuming. You can also get energy by Rage and or Hunter Adrenaline. Okay. Okay. So, the last little bit is the visuals and the moving mechanics of what you can and cannot do. So, now that we know all that we know, I don't know. LOL ain't got Wisp yet. Now that we know everything that we know about Wisp, how do we build this sexy beast? Because I have my setup. I have what, 2? 3. Okay, I have my setups. I have an ultimate support setup. And yes, I will admit, I took off her 4 because I would like to have been the ultimate support if I was doing that. and I put on dispensary in her 4. Okay? There's a reason behind it. I want to heal. I want to give movement speed, fire rate, reload speed. I want to be able to drop energy, more health on top of my moat, and then ammo. You know, I can do all of that. Says why people take off before chase off before. I don't need you to judge me. There's a reason. But I do use her OG setup. Okay? And I do use her 4. So get off my dick. Okay? My dick. It's my dick. You get off my dick. Anyway. Yes, I did take off. I'm sorry. I did. But I still believe her 4 is good. I 100% believe her 4 is good. I think I had a setup. I think this was it. Or was it not? No. I did have a setup at one point where I was utilizing her 3 augment. But I got rid of it for some reason. I don't know why. Does duration matter that much? Well, let's see. I feel Liek, it would be good at Liek 60 or 75. My fucking head hurts when I read your sentences. Okay. So duration does affect literally every one of her skills. The buff duration outside of your reservoir range, it affects that. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh. It does affect the outside, like when you're outside of your 1 and how long that duration lasts is based off your duration. So it does. It affects the length of time of your 2, the blind duration of your 3, and it affects the energy drain per second on your 4. So you can. Yeah, you can 100% put that in Discord. 100%. You can 100% put that in Discord. So, let's see. If we want to be cautious, you know, if we want to have a particular setup where she has a decent amount of like efficiency and duration, let's see, we could go the route of let's figure out auras. No need for corrosive projection because you're gonna get corrosive procs. My voice is still cracking like I'm going through puberty. The nerve of my body. Corrosive procs is what I was trying to say. No need for corrosive protection because we're going to get procs from the 1, its augment, or not augment, just the shock mode itself. Brief respite, it's a possibility you could run that, you know. It's a possibility you could run that. Have a decent amount of, you know, shields. If, you know, shield gating is your thing or whatever the case may be, I don't know. Deadeye, that's a good little augment. I mean, we were just talking about critical surge not too long ago, so more damage on top of your crit chance. Like, you can totally do that. You can totally do that. Empower blades, maybe. Growing power. Yeah, growing power is just it's staple. It's literally staple at this point. Most builds should include growing power. And that's clearly subjective. That's bias. I shouldn't even say that. It's a bias. It's a biased answer. For me, most of my builds include growing power just because I just really love growing power. Obviously, not every one of my builds does, but most of them do, just because of how I play. You can do growing power, you can do physique, you can do rejuvenation, you can do mega empowered, you can do whatever aura tickles your fancy on her. Honestly, you can really like do whatever. I need to get an aura former so I can replace my CPU. Yes, you do need that. Shit, you can even get away with physique. You can get away with the physique if you wanted to. More health on with more health here, like you could. But growing power, because growing power increases the strength, which will increase the health, haste, and shock modes, like what they do. Well, outside of shock, because shock is guaranteed 100%. But especially vitality and haste, like it will increase those for sure. So let's see, if we wanted to run like a decent duration efficiency build, we could. So here's the thing, right? Here's the kicker. You technically don't need a lot of range. Like, you don't need a lot. You can honestly stay with auger reach or stretch, whichever one. You can do either one, stretch or auger reach. You got 115. Yeah, you can get away with low range. The reason why I say that is because as long as you are casting your 3 when you are facing your 1, you will get double range on your 3 100% of the time. Your 2 will always have double range whenever your 2 is active, and then you cast your 3 on your 1. You will have 2 rings of double range. So basically 46.8 meters. 2 rings of that. So 2 opposite ends of the tile set, and then you cast that mother. Everybody in that mother. Blind! Everybody blind! Can't do nothing. They just can't. And then whatever your duration is based off of, they're blinded for that amount. Those enemies are not doing anything for whatever your amount is. And then you can just keep that tile set on lock forever. Because as long as you are blinding those enemies, you're just refreshing the blind. They can't do nothing. More enemies are going to run in. They're going to get blinded. The previously blinded enemies are going to stay blinded. It's just nice. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. It's nice. So, yeah, you can just get away with, but you can just get away. You just get away with stuff. So, of course, we're going to be running Prime Flow because we want big energy pool. Prime Continuity and... okay, so here's the thing. Of course, I do have a lower ranked, a lower ranked narrow-minded to give me the duration that I want, right? This particular ranked narrow-minded is going to put my range at a negative, which I don't want. The next one will keep it right at neutral. So, what I could do to fix that is switch my auger reach to stretch. I'm okay with that. So that way, if I do run this one, my range is no longer in the negative, and then we can either run the rank 4, which will still give us 200% duration, and we're right at the 115, and then we can go safely into other like things on our Exilus. We can go into Fuse Reservoir, or we can go into Cunning Drift, or we can go into Power Drift, or we can do stuff. Because now we're balanced out. There's the 115 that Selena was talking about. Alright. So Now, let's do our strength. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna do a rank 8. I'm gonna do a rank 8. And of course, I'm gonna do my Streamlin. Okay, so 28.75 I can deal. 40 I can deal. 57 I can deal. I can kinda sorta deal. Kinda sorta. Let me see. If we ran a rank, what? 4 and 4? Or 4 and 3? Augur Secrets? No. It's not necessary. We can do a 4 and a 3. Okay. Looks kooky. I know. But look at this. Our energy drain is down lower. The initial cost is down lower. And then we still have enough space to do something here and something here. Let's see. What would we do? What could we do? We can safely, check me out, safely. And that's safely. We can just do that. Yup. And then, guess what? That's happening. That is going to happen. We're done. We're done. It's done. It's done. So at base, we're running 606 additional health and 60.6 health per second. That can be increased with growing power, obviously. This lasts 6 seconds. I would like for that to be a little bit higher, but I don't have a lower fleeting expertise. Normally, I would run that at 8. I like my duration 8, but I don't have. Let me see if I push this at a rank 5, what would happen? No, it ain't gonna go to 8 no time soon. Not unless I take off fleeting, but I don't want to take off fleeting. 676 is not bad. 109, 19. That's still 38, almost 40 meters. Status chance 40% on the radiation proc. Still nice. Yeah, this is still nice. With a slight increase on that. And then obviously we would boom that, yeah, and also boom, like stables. Switch them how you would switch them. Switch them how you like to play. But this whole thing, yeah, I approve. Okay. Is there anything else? Anguish. There could be some niche builds that you could possibly do with the Amars and Boreals and Nearest Anguish mods. You could even remove flow, add more duration. Nani? Are you referring to Constitution? Since your efficiency is high. True. You don't need much energy. That's true. Okay. Let's test that out. Since your casting levels are like, what, 50-ish? 50 energy? Lower because of my efficiency. So close to 200. Sometimes I get jealous on how smart y'all be. That literally just comes with playing the game. Cause if you play the game, enough, you'll see the patterns. You can see the patterns fairly quickly. So with that increased duration, that brings down our cost here for the drain per second under 5, which is nice. So, if I'm looking at this correctly, our current damage per second, not boosted, damage per second is 3,030. Boosted will be 6,060. I'm okay with that. I am completely okay with that. And then, of course, it's just going to get stronger with growing power. So obviously, we got to try this. I am going to try it with her weapon. The what is it called? The it has a little nifty thing with it in her hand. Faster mode switch used by Wisp. That's the only nifty thing. That's what it's called, man. I'm telling you. That's what it's called, man. Let's see. For some reason, I am liking the Spirex. I don't know why. I just does. All right, now let's see. I'm gonna be rude. You're rude, Jude. I'm gonna be rude to Judah. All right. It's gonna work so well. It's gonna work so well. Yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, we would do. Oh, I can't reach. There we go. And then all 3. Yeah. So, let me see if I'm reading this correctly. Alright. Let's go to our abilities. R1 is at 682.5 with 68.25 health per second. Speed multiplier of 45 with a fire rate of 68. And a range of 16 meters on our shock emote. Yeah. Remember I said earlier we don't even have to be close to them. And we can run our freaking ghost through our 2, or through our 1. So look, it's got it on. They're all blind. And I didn't go anywhere near them. And I got punched through, right? Boosted damage! Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. This is brutal. Yes, I'm running out of energy like crazy because I'm constantly holding this down, but dear God. You think I wouldn't? You think I wouldn't? That's... This thing is actually I hate that it, runs out of... Ugh. Ugh. Oh, my shit hits like a whopper. It's a whopper hitter. It hit like a whopper. Why that gun? I don't know. I was bored. Why this gun? I don't freaking know. I just, Foeman, Wisp. Alright, so, yeah. Okay, so oh, that's why I was doing so much. I was doing Rockin' Deadhead. I could probably get more reload speed if I did. Yeah, I could do Merkula. Oh, Merkula. Yeah, she cheeked up for no reason. Why Shawty cheeked up? Shawty super cheeked up. Alright, and then one more go around because it's ridiculous. Alright. There is 2. There is 3. And I travel with my 2 because I can. They dead. Gosh dog it. Yeah, they 100% spent time on her. They knew what they were doing. No cap on God. They knew what they were doing. She is something to behold. They did not try to hide it at all. Alright, y'all. So, this is going to end it for Wisp. Thank y'all so much for being here. The stream is not over. I am going to go ahead and stop everything, and then I'm going to pop back up so that way, you know, we can keep the party going. And yeah, for those who are here, please stay here because we are not going anywhere. For everyone in YouTube land, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And on that note, Bros